I used to think Nigeria was chaotic and America was engineered. But then I moved to America and then I realized something very terrifying, which was that a society can collapse slowly and everything will look normal. You see, societies collapse not just because of bad leadership, but because of something much quieter, the death of critical thinking. So stick with me and I walk you through a story that starts with NEPA and ends with a society that has just refused to think.
America, God bless you if it's good to you. America, please take my hand.
You see, I was born in Nigeria in the 90s, and a few things that I learned quickly was that electricity is not constant, corruption is, and that if you live long enough, you will learn to operate under this one mantra: every man for himself. You see, that mindset kind of explains why our parents always wanted us to do careers like doctor, lawyer, engineer. Not because that these jobs were glamorous, but because of the fact that when systems are weak, your family will need you to become the system. So, I had Nigeria in my head and I had America. You see, America was sold to us as the land of the free. But to me, it was more than that. It was more than a country. It was a movie. You see, I used to watch Home Alone, and I used to be fascinated by the beginning portion of it, where his parents have left and he's ordering pizzas, ordering ice cream, and all that just looked so safe, so organized. Like in that chaos, that felt like civilization. You see, the way the news I watch, CNN and the others, used to always frame America as the good guy. America is always fixing something. America is always helping. And if you hate America, the simple truth is you hate freedom. You are moving like a terrorist. So I supported America like a hero in the movie. I mean, who watches Lion King and supports Scar? But here's the twist. The fact is that nobody will let you know once your superhero becomes complicated. I moved to America in 2011, and upon getting there, it felt like hope. The cold air felt like AC outside, and everything just looked so organized, so predictable, so structured. And I thought to myself, yes, this is what a working society looks like. I remember entering one of my classrooms for calculus. I'll never forget the teacher's name, Pamela Balthazar. And in the class, somebody called her by her first name and she responded. And in my head, I'm like, huh? Pam? Like, you can't even do that in Nigeria. It's always Sir, Ma. And then I saw students stand up, walk out of the class, come back into the class late. Just anything they felt like, no permission, no apology, just get up, walk out. And then it hit me that America's freedom is not just an idea, it was a default setting. And that sounds beautiful, but the truth about it is that when you are so free, you do not realize what life is like when that freedom is taken away. I took politics and history classes and I started getting obsessed with how America was built. You see, Americans followed the amendments like scriptures. You have a right to defend yourself. You have a right to free speech. You have rights. But beyond the quotes, I thought about the process. The founding fathers sat down, and yes, they got the land by nefarious means. They pushed out the Native Americans, killed them, massacred them, all that fun stuff. But these people sat down. There was no parties, there was no pressure to just do it for my side, but they sat down and built something that they hoped will survive being stress tested. There was a lot of critical thinking around everything that they put in place. And that's why it still feels like it stands even today. You see, I went to school for mechanical engineering and I'm fascinated by structures. Something we learned in strength of materials is that we don't just build buildings and bridges just by vibes. We calculate for that bridge by understanding stresses, strains, fatigues, and building according to what the budget is and what the safety factors are going to be. And this was how the founding fathers actually built America. They built it with the thoughts that things are going to get stress tested, and they tried to build for that. But the America we see today seems to have forgotten that it was critical thinking that got them where they were. What I began to see is a country that is divided, red and blue, Democrats and Republicans. And it's okay to have teams, but when your teams are now moving like enemies, how does your society function? If I cannot trust that a Republican has my best interests at heart, why will I trust them to take over the government? And with the rise of Donald Trump, I just see that America has decided that all they want is simple answers. Yes, I saw the disillusion of critical thinking during the Obama era. I used to watch Fox News and be like, that doesn't make sense. But I guess it's a free society, so everybody has a right to believe what they want to believe. But it just seems like Americans are just looking for easy answers. But the truth about it is that the world is not easy. And what Americans seem to forget is that great societies are not permanent. And the only way your society keeps going is by the trust that your neighbor has your best interests at heart. Great societies require maintenance. Great societies are like marriages, are like friendships. You cannot maintain a friendship by not checking in on one another and understanding that you people still have the same values, you people still have things in common, checking upon each other to see, what's going on in your life. That's how friendships are maintained. And I think that's how marriages are maintained as well. America has gotten to a point where they believe that all ideas are created equal and that if you don't like my idea, I will just wait till my election cycle and I will just test my idea. And I don't care what happens to the society as long as I am able to do what I am able to do. I watched Trump say that he loves the poorly educated. And I watched his regime fight education at every point. People think that, fighting against the Harvards and the higher education is a noble cause. But the truth about it is that college, beyond just being elitist, is a way for you to look at the world critically. In college, you get to meet people of different backgrounds and see the world from an angle you haven't seen it before. You get to sit in classes where the content that is provided to you is provided with some sort of logic. Strength of materials now is not a class where they tell you, okay, this is how A works, this is how B works, this is how C works. You do exams where different scenarios are brought to you, and you have to use the guiding principles to get to the answer that you need. College is about teaching guiding principles, principles of thinking, principles of logic. If you reject that premise, then how are you supposed to build on a society? America has the hubris of thinking that what men wrote almost 250 years ago is enough to keep their society where it is. And the truth about it is that those men had gaps, and that's what the different amendments were for. America has just stopped thinking. They've just abandoned thinking, and they've moved to, I have my own facts, you have your own facts, but let's operate from that. But if we do not have a base of what we consider as truth, how the hell are we supposed to progress? I'm saying we like I'm in America. I am just a independent observer who is fascinated by where America is going. I think America has committed evil for so long that it is time for justice. But I didn't expect that America will collapse by their own hand. And I think that's what makes it infinitely more entertaining. Because if you sit down and think, while the answers are not simple, the answers are obvious. See you guys on the next video. Goodbye.